Hello, my friends. The next step in starting to put together our literary essay is to elaborate on significant ideas in the picture books that you've been reading. So we're going to be taking a look back through some of the writing that you've done to look for significant ideas that we can elaborate on and start to think about putting those together as a thesis for our literary essay. So what we're going to do is kind of switch our thinking from big picture thinking to zooming in on what's really important. And you can do this with pictures too. I'm sure some of you have probably seen Where's Waldo book before, or maybe even images on the internet. And so I'm going to show you an image, and we're just going to look at the big picture. And I just want you to take a second or two and think about what you see happening in this image. A lot of stuff is happening, right? So at first glance, big picture, I'm thinking there's a lot of people. Looks like they're having some sort of meal, and my goodness, they have made a mess. But when we zoom in on sections of the picture, we can see that there are some other things happening we might not have noticed at first. I'm going to zoom into this area right here. Now, I can tell from this picture, people have food all over their face. This guy's getting ready to throw whatever this food is. This guy's getting pelted. This guy's on the floor. So now I'm starting to understand why there's such a mess happening here. They're having a food fight, but I couldn't see that until I zoomed in. So let's try this with writing. We're going to zoom in on ideas that we think are especially important or significant to the text. Here's my writing from Piper, a section of my writing, and I'm going to reread it, thinking, is one portion of this writing especially important or significant to the text? Now, I've already selected a section that I thought was pretty significant. When Piper opens her beak, it looks like she's waiting for her mom to feed her. Why doesn't she get her own food? Maybe because she is scared. I think her mom wants her to learn to feed herself. Now, to me, that stuck out as something that might be especially important or significant about not the text in this case, but about the film Piper that we watched. So now we're going to elaborate on that by thinking, what else fits with this idea? So here is some of the writing that I did to elaborate on this idea of mom wanting Piper to feed herself. I think Piper's mom wants Piper to learn to feed herself. Notice I restated that big idea there. Now I'm going to elaborate on it. She wants Piper to learn how to be independent. This is shown in the beginning of the film when Piper looks up and opens her beak, waiting for her mother to drop in some food. The mother bird shows Piper how she picks up a clam, and she hoots and beckons Piper to leave the nest and try for herself. Notice how I've not only included my ideas, but also evidence right from the film, right? So what is she doing? What's happening that makes me think that this might be true? This is also shown, I have another piece of evidence here. This is also shown later after Piper was caught in the wave and is afraid to go back down to the shore. While Piper is shivering in the nest, her stomach grumbling, her mom chirps at her encouragingly to try to get her to come out and find some food for herself. This gives me the idea that Piper's mother is like a lot of mothers. She probably wants to help Piper, but she knows that teaching Piper to help herself is more important. So what I've done is I've taken that idea that I found was especially important or significant. I added more about just that one idea by finding other pieces of evidence that fit with the idea. So now it's your turn to try. Okay. Remember that when we zoomed in on with the Where's Waldo picture, we could get a better understanding of why the big picture looked to be how it was. So when you try this, the first thing you need to do is reread your writing about one of the picture books that you've been exploring. You're not rereading the picture book. I mean, you'll do that as well, but right now you're rereading your writing to look for any of those significant ideas, thinking what is especially important about this text. And then zoom in on those central ideas and elaborate on them with evidence and thought prompts, like I did with Piper. That is your next job. And that's what you'll spend most of your time working on during writing workshop today, continuing to journal by focusing in on the big ideas and elaborating on those to bring them out. Good luck, have fun, work hard.